gave his theory on the basis of the law of chemical combination. By the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, the discoveries were made regarding the Bohr's theory, the Chadwick theory of discovery, and the Thomson model, and the discovery of the electron. So by then, the structure of atom was clear. Now, on the basis of this, right, the Dalton atomic theory is being modified and it is named as now modern atomic theory. Now, the first point of is that the atom is now no more indivisible. Now we know that the atom consists of the constituent particles which are electron, protons and neutrons. The second point is that the atom of same substance were having identical shape, mass, size and chemical property. Now it has been modified that the atoms of same element now no more are identical in all respect. Now here we can take, now you know about the isotopes. Now isotopes, here we have got the same same element has got different atomic masses. For example, here chlorine, you know that we have got chlorine 17, it is 35, and chlorine this way. So here you know that the 17 here is denoting the atomic number and 35 is denoting the mass number. So and similarly here 17 atomic number, 37. These two though are the isotopes of chlorine where the relative masses of both are different, right? So now that atom of same elements now will not be having, we have examples where we have got a different atomic masses or relative masses. Now third is that atom of different element may be similar in one or more respect. One or more respect is related to atomic relative masses, isobars. Now let's take calcium and argon, right? They have got different atomic masses, but the mass number will be same here. The relative masses of these elements are same, though they are different, having the different atomic numbers. Next is that atom is the smallest unit that take part in the chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, right, if you have taken the molecules also, then also the atom, at the ground level atom is there, which is going to participate in the chemical reaction. Now the next is that the ratio in which the atom combines may be fixed and integral, but it is no more simple, right? Now there are examples that if you take the ammonia formation, NH3 here, definitely 1 is to 3. This is simple, it is a fixed and integral and simple also. But if we take the example of sugar here, so it is C12H22O11, right? Though the combining ratios of carbon is to hydrogen is to oxygen, right? It is fixed. It is 12 is to 22 is to 11. But it is no more simple, right? So it is meant here this only, that the ratio in which the atoms will combine will be fixed and integral, but it will not be simple in all cases. Now next is that atom of one element can be changed into atom of other elements. Now we have got the concept of radioactivities, right? So here one element, let us take an example of nitrogen atom. Now we can change this nitrogen atom into oxygen atom by just getting the alpha ray passed over the nitrogen gas or nitrogen atom. So this process is known as transmutation. This you will study in the higher classes, but it is possible that the atom of one element can be changed into the atom of another element, right? Now next is that the mass of an atom can be changed into energy, right? Now the mass of an atom can be changed into energy, that is we have got this relation from the Einstein equation, E equals to mc square. Einstein equation, that E equals to mc square. So here The mass of an atom can be converted into energy, where E stands for energy, M stands for the mass of an atom, and C is the velocity. Right. So here we can say that the atom is now going to react, just get converted into mass. That is, mass is no more, we can say that it can neither be created nor can be destroyed. Right. So these are the postulates of the modern atomic theory. Students, from the Dalton atomic theory, we came to know that the atoms combines with one another in a simple whole number ratio to form the compounds. And the Gay-Lussac's law, which states that the equal volume of gases, they will bear a simple whole number ratio with one another when they react with one another, right? So under these two theories, or we can say under these two statements, Berzelius gave his hypothesis, right? Now the Berzelius hypothesis, we have to go through it before we study the Avogadro's law. His hypothesis was based on the Dalton theory, which I just said now. The main postulate which he considered was that the atoms, different atoms, or we can say atoms of different elements, they combines in the simple whole number ratio to form the compound. And the Gay-Lussac's, that the equal volume of gases, right, they are going to combine under similar conditions of temperature and pressure in a simple whole number ratio. Going through these two theories or laws, he gave his hypothesis. Now this is the hypothesis that equal volume of gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure contains equal number of atoms. Right? This was a hypothesis which was given by the Berzelius. Now just we are going to apply this on the chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, now here hydrogen and chlorine, they are the gases, and HCl form is also gas. Now if we apply here, it is that 2 volume of hydrogen is going to combine with 1 volume of hydrogen will combine with 1 volume of chlorine to form 2 volume of HCl. Right. So according to him, that equal number of atoms, that is in this way, that if we consider it to be the 1 atom, here it is again the 1 atom, it is 2 atom of HCl according to him. Right. Now if we are just going to get 1 atom of HCl, so it is right. Now if we just go through this, right, then the Dalton theory gets violated. Now which theory is getting violated here? Theory, that is the atom is indivisible. Right, so to get 1 atom of HCl, right, we had this half atom of chlorine and half atom of hydrogen. So from this equation it is just getting clear that atom is getting half. Right, but Dalton theory says that atom is indivisible. So the Berzelius hypothesis was not in agreement with the Dalton's theory, one of its postulate that atom is indivisible. Then Avogadro just gone through this hypothesis and made a slight change here. According to him, the equal volume of gases under similar condition of temperature and pressure contain equal number of molecules. So this is the main difference here, that he just get it changed, that instead of equal number of atom, it will be equal number of molecule. Now just again if we go through the same equation, So here just one volume of hydrogen, one volume of chlorine to give one volume of HCl. So here the one volume we are going to present in form of one molecule of hydrogen going to react with one molecule of chlorine to form two molecule of HCl, right? And to get one molecule of HCl, it will be half molecule of chlorine and half molecule of hydrogen here. Now it is not violating here the Dalton theory that atom is indivisible, because here the molecule is getting half, that is instead of H2 it will be now one hydrogen atom, right? Here instead of chlorine molecule, it will become half of it, so it will become one chlorine atom. So to get one molecule of HCl, one hydrogen atom is required and one chlorine atom is required. So this is in agreement with the Dalton theory also. So students, so you have to just go through it, that Avogadro law, that under similar condition of temperature and pressure, you can also write down at a fixed temperature and pressure also, equal volume of gases will contain equal number of molecules. Now